Hi there, I'm Lauren, aka Your Sewing Buddy, and I've decided to try a slightly different tactic with my videos, sort of a binging with Babish meets Bernadette Banner, because everyone needs more alliteration in their life. Um, so, what you're going to see is me sewing the lining into a vest that I was trying to put back together from my unfinished objects. And there's me struggling with threading the needle. I figured doing it this way and then adding the voiceover after means I will be more focused on what I'm saying and less focused on figuring out what the heck I'm doing. Um, Also, it means that I can sew while I'm watching other YouTube videos. Like, I think while I was doing this, I was streaming the costume college vlogs from Bernadette Banner, Kathy Hay, Enchanted Rose Costumes, and Costuming Drama. So, it keeps me entertained, and then I can keep you hopefully better entertained. So, this vest, I originally had sacklined it, and it was not happy. It was bunching very strangely. Somehow I didn't get, even though I cut them on top of each other, I didn't get the lining and the facing fabric quite right. So I decided to take that apart and try to do a flat line on it, which instead of actually cutting the lining, I just tucked the lining under and then rolled the outer fabric over that. So, spoiler alert, it didn't turn out how I wanted still. There are points in the front that didn't match, and the fit wasn't quite right. So, it was good practice for me in figuring out how to flatline, and definitely some tips for next time I try to make a vest of this type. However, the project itself is going into my donate bag because I found a local woman who will take any leftover textiles and turn them into like stuffed animals for children, or stuffed animals I think that she gives to charity shops and that sort of thing. So, really good cause. I'm really happy that I found her because she will take even the smallest scrap, whereas a lot of places, like if it's a 1 inch square, they don't want it, but she'll take anything and use it. Um, Costume College itself was a whole lot of fun. Uh, there were some hiccups. Like, I guess the hotel had issues with, not letting us know that they were renovating the top 3 floors of the hotel, so they didn't have as many rooms as normal. So some people were sharing rooms and only had a king bed available. And there was also something, we think it was bedbug spray, but it was a very floral scented thing in the hallway. I didn't smell it, but I definitely had a headache most of Friday until I finally broke down and took some Aleve for it. And I'm adjusting the pins as I go here because even the pinning wasn't quite right on this. It's a hot mess, but I learned things, like I said. The On Friday for Costume College, I went on the Fashion Institute of Design Museum tour, which was kind of a letdown. It was, the things that we got to see were really cool, but they didn't have an exhibit going on. So basically, we went to their storage room, and our tour guide showed us some items that he thought were really cool. They were really cool, but it wasn't like something where we could actually take time and study the pieces and take lots of photos. It was just like, hey, here's this thing I pulled out of a box. We'll talk about it really quick and then I'll put it back in the box. We did learn about their quarantine process for new garments, which is interesting. They put it in, anything new that comes in goes into super deep freeze for 2 weeks. Like, not like I'm going to keep my ice cream in here freeze, but like you had better have protective garments on if you're going in here freeze. Then they thaw it for a week to create like a false spring to hatch any buggies that might be in there. And then they freeze it again for another week. So that was an interesting tidbit I picked up, which was cool, but definitely not worth missing the Friday classes that I could have gone to. Saturday, I had a class for making a 16th century smock and actually finished that in class. So don't believe people when they say that you never finish your projects in class. I mean, a lot of them you won't, but this one, the instructors specifically, like, here are the period accurate shortcuts that you can take. And that was really cool. Like, my seams on the inside are still raw, but that's accurate, apparently. And Saturday was the gala also, where I debuted my hexadecimal. I think I might actually insert a clip of that, because Amanda, who I'll link her Instagram below, but she got a video of me doing a quick little spin and mask change. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. You can find photos of that on my Instagram as well. Then Sunday was the tea. I skipped breakfast and went straight for the bargain basement because they were piled like halfway to the ceiling with just fabric and stuff, and I had to go back again later in the day just because I knew there were layers, like strata layers, that I hadn't seen for the fabrics, and I was right, and I found some really good stuff. And then, of course, the tea, which was Haunted Mansion themed, so it was a lot of fun. They had some great photo opportunities. I got to wear my Morticia dress again from a couple of years ago. Saturday morning, I wore my Mary Quite Contrary dress again. So I did a lot of reusing this year, which was good because I was sewing up until 3 days before the event. But for the first time, I was actually done before costume college, and I took some time to tidy up my sewing room. So coming back, I could really just dive back in and get some stuff done, which is why I'm working on my unfinished objects right now. I'm waiting on fabric to come in for the super secret bee projects that I'm not allowed to show you pictures of. So be prepared for more like hand sewing and random things while I make these videos for you. For the rest of Sunday, I spent some time in the hospitality suite and talked with some people. Sunday is really sort of a chill day at Costume College. They did have the trunk show for the first time, which was like, excuse me, Mr. Airplane flying overhead, being really loud. And there was a trunk show for the first time, which was people who didn't have a table set up in the marketplace itself, or even people who did, but just, you know, had some little tidbits of things that were on special sale. Got to sell those. So we had, like, Burnley and Towbridge were there with some odds and ends. I think they brought handkerchiefs. Someone was selling just, you know, synthetic boning. I can't remember her name right. Actually, I got the pin right here. There was Amy Steinberger with her pins. I got my I finished before the event pin, and then I picked up a cute little pin for Jody. So was really happy to have those. You may notice I tangle my thread quite a bit in here. It takes a lot of patience to untangle it, but I find that to be a lot better than trying to cut it and then tuck the end and hope that it stays put for the next time around. Monday, I got to go to the LA Fashion District for the first time with my wonderful guide, Dorothy, and I picked up materials for next year's Costume College. The theme for next year is celebrating 100 years of women's suffrage, so a lot of 19 teens sort of costuming, which means I am going to create two of my dream dresses, both from Moulin Rouge. The walking dress, the gray one with the little gray jacket and the black corset, and then the rehearsal dress, the burgundy with all of the embroidery and the huge gold headdress. So I'm very excited to start on those, but those will come after the secret project. And yeah, it was a really good year. Again, I wish I had just stayed there for Friday and socialized. For the Friday social, my friends and I did things that you follow. So we had a white rabbit, a will-o'-the-wisp, and then I was a bouncing ball. Although the ball part of my dress did not work out. So I had a red dress with circles on it and red go-go boots. And I tried to bounce whenever we were doing a video or anything. We tried to get a game of Follow the Leader started, but not many people were down for that. But we did hand out ribbons to those who did play, and then I handed out ribbons throughout the weekend for anyone who was in line behind me for something or who gave me a ribbon. Because really the ribbons were for Friday night, but it's costume college. Giving out ribbons is a great way to make friends. And now I have moved on from this vest, and I'm working on making something out of ribbons I collected from my last job. So they had a lot of polyester ribbons, special value, that were going to the dumpster, but instead I thought I could weave those together and make something cool. So it's either going to be a skirt or a vest, or I don't know what yet. I'm still putting them together to see what they want to be. And it was amazing meeting some of the people I've seen on YouTube, such as Bernadette Banner, Kathy Hay, who I've spoken with in previous years, but she's always amazing. Marika from Enchanted Rose Costumes actually helped me into my hexadecimal dress before I realized who she was. And she mentioned her pink robe à la française, and that's when it struck me, and I'm like, oh my god, I watched that video to help figure out how to make this dress, and we both kind of squeed over that a little bit, which was fun. As far as my life goes, I'm still working at Menaz, which is wonderful. We had a new girl. She decided that it wasn't the right fit for her, so now we have another woman there working there. So my schedule changed, and I now have Tuesday, Thursday off, as well as Sunday and Monday. Still 3 days a week, which I am eternally grateful for, because then I have so much time to actually do the sewing that I want to do. And I think that's enough for today. I hope that you got some sewing done while you were listening to me and while you were watching me. So I know it's kind of difficult to sew and watch at the same time, but that's why I decided on this format, because if you look up, yes, I'm sewing along with you, but I'm still talking. I'm giving you, I hope, a little bit more to listen to, something more of interest to be your background noise, your inspiration. Just let you know that you're not alone. Other people are sewing along, and you've got this. I'm going to leave it at that for today. I hope that you go create something beautiful. Please, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear about what you're creating while you're listening to this, and enjoy the rest of your week. I always say that I will do my best to be steady about these videos, and hopefully with this format that will be much easier. Have a wonderful week, and take care.